Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scurvy Scouts in Pirates of the Caribbean film series. Simon Angels here. Today is a Sunday and a night, July 13, 2025. We're here today as special live on yesterday for the last 24 hours. And two pay-per-views, and the main eventers is between NXT The Great American Bash, and Saturday Night Main Event, which is as far as about the whole timelines as soon as is possible. As the real possibilities is the Great American Bash of the past 40 years. So that was realistically is between Evolution and the WWE is between CWs, and Tuesday night NXTs for 2 hours during the main events, which is about the live events for the NXTs for Thursday nights and Friday nights during the SmackDown's Evolutions. It is the whole matter of that time, which in that case, so when that matters, and that takes to the first moments in pretty at about for the last 16 for them for about the whole 16 years from 2009. But importantly, it is the most between Night of Champions, SummerSlam, then Breaking Point. Also Hell in a Cell from Monday Night Raw, the SmackDown, the ECW. Bragging Rights. November is about Survivor Series and Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Sell the good times. Sell attacks for no reasons. It could be hacked up as much as is possible. Some cares as far as the reason about the order the online as far as like on observation is between extended editions. So in that case is most of the movies benefits. Movies on theaters on the benefits is between Regal Longstime Place 14, Regal Cinemas on South End Malls, and Cary Theaters with the Fort Lewis Air Base, and the whole main theaters is McCord Air Base as far as like a United States Army. It made it by the Air Force and Army with the theaters. That way there could be about it looks like about the home theater is between popcorns and snack and drinks. However you can. But if you ever want, it could be Shadows action. It's probably like on Restoration is between 18 years, 19 years, and 20 years. It is also we agree is between 21s and 22 years. I haven't seen I was at 8. I probably would see Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, the first movie, is extended editions. It is just probable that once and for all is about 156 minutes, even mostly including second ones is the Dead Man's Chest. In the past like over for 9 years, Pirates of the Caribbean, the second movie is extended editions. The once and for all is could be taken and over limitations. The Kraken extended to attack to an Hindenburg traders, scuttle ships, and underwater is the Kraken seeing the Will Turners, seeing the Kraken's eyes, where the Leviathan, terrible for the sea monsters. Then that way Will Turner swims a lot. He looks in the sea monsters where the Davy Jones passed it underwater. He was raised from Captain Davy Jones from the Flying Dutchman with the bootstrap Bill Turner. He met with his son Will Turner. That was from Captain Jack Sparrow, besides after the Aztec Gold with lifted the curse from last 9 years. Even Commodore James Norrington and his captain for the HMS Dauntless just destroyed by hurricane off the Tripoli. I also could be agreed it's been trade prologue in his actions. That was like the last 24 hours between on the crash of wedding to the Port Royal and the Fort Charles. Sometimes Lord Carla Beckett in the East India Trading Company, 3 ship of the lines just arriving through the on the port rails. It also replaced British Royal Navy to the East India Trading Company. That was like the 60 days, the whole experimenting, the plus 10 for equals 70-day experimenting with investigation for the East India Trading Company. Cutler Beckett's, Ian Mercer also have replaced Commodore James Norrington, and still Governor Weatherby's won. That way, the EITC companies, the soldiers and officers and crewmen, it mostly takes about with hiring observations illegally to the building the ships, like 300 of them. That way extended that goes to Admiral's End during the ship's evolution of fleets and the Armada. It could be judging people. That way is the second one is the Dead Man's Chest. It could be extension ones in the timelines with 1,000 seconds with 100 minutes. Even like times probably just mostly have 68 to equals 168 minutes. I also was gonna have the chosen ones as much as I guess. Then even like the first one is the Ancient Dauntless just got off on the storm was sunk by the hurricane. And there's the nearly ghost ships. It is revealed is the Flying Dutchman. It is the Dutchman pirates is the cursed. And that's the one about the heart that Davy Jones puts it inside on the Ila Cruises. For that once it could be in sets as far as like on the last few years ago. Davy Jones and his curse of the ship just got up to on the bow of the cannons. Guns on the deck is between cannon firing for captain's orders. She was destroying their ships. They have like a French merchants, English, and Spanish. Then wanted to have the Dutch ones. Even at the cursed, it comes in the rainstorms, comes in, glows in the dark. That way, it comes to the light, flying down to the ocean with the ocean floor, through there into the waters to reach to the depths. That's where his pest, the Kraken, is. That way, the Kraken also attacks the scuttle ships with the fight for the scuttle's crew, and mostly have the captains who they best are, and that way, Helicopters just captures 6 to 6 guys. It's just probably about 11 of them. Even Captain Jack Sparrow has become a chief and a native from Pelagostos Island, and Governor Weatherby's one just releases by Will Turner for Goes on Jack Sparrow. It just landed to the Pelagostos Islands from Turkish prison. Then Jack's hat just swallows by the Kraken. Basically, it just swallowed beside in the mouth and besides the tentacles. That was the 8 tentacles with the squid, octopus, the Kraken, and cephalopod, this cuttlefish. It looks like a starfish. It's like about the colossals and giant squids, Pacific giant octopus. It is what becomes the Kraken. It's a mystical leviathan, is the sea monsters, is the legendary of the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, becomes to the floor and on. That way it goes, steady as it goes, and that happens in between casualties. Davy Jones's pet is just eating the crew from the ships. It came from the French Royal Navy, Dutch and Spanish, and then the British. And that one is between the pirates, the naughtiest ones, and normal ones. However, that ship, as far as like on the Native Americans and Indians and Pelagostos as cannibals, and that one's it could be about raised by pets. That one's the Kraken looks bigger. His eyes looks bigger, about orange, and his head looks bigger, giant ones. That looks like it's offer about 350 feet straight, with the tentacles deeper into this mouth and besides and inside, and comes in the side between the stomach and brings to the giant heads. It comes in from the fields beside the ears besides the poo. But that really knows, as far as we're concerned, really best things ever that takes between the Pirates movie with the second ones. So that way, the Tortuga and the Flying Dutchman will Turner unwelcomes there for the captains and his father, Boostra Bill Turner. And that way, Calypso's just flashbacks with his heart, and then just like them mostly for about last 6 minutes. And that way, it is a completely, it's just all is a concern about Jones is straight. It is an undeniable, it is the most agreed, or that this might be disagreement. Davy Jones has the Kraken. That was like a raise for about 1725. He raised the Kraken about the last 4 years. For this, that was the before presence of 1729. It was the most experimenting strong enough against by the ships. That ship is strong enough against the Kraken, but it's too big about the Kraken just got out from the water, got it back for the heels. That Kraken, it heals the tentacles, is underwater. It is the most precisely, it came from Trident and Poseidon in the Devil's Triangle after the Battle of El Monte del Mar with the Silent Mary. One of the 9 Dusty ships was sunk, one of it survived, and Silent Mary is just transformed into the ghost, into besides from the Devil's Triangle. But the Trident turns the weapons is the cursed. It's the Aztec gold and the heart of Davy Jones, and it's his locker in the Isla Cruces and buried to the underground. That way, Isla Cruces extension ones is his worry looking for after the Hindenburg Trader extended ones that the Kraken, the ones that are underwater besides into the reef ships. That was the French Royal Navy from the Hindenburg Traders, and Dutch that ones to have her on the ships. Even that exactly what it have was. What do you think you're doing here? Sometimes, even though they're doing that once, they plan to roll up behind the scenes. The Kraken moves back behind with the ships. It made it for the boomer and thumping. He made for the bubbling underwater, and besides the ocean, it can't see it. The Kraken seems and the eyes glows orange. Sometimes it made it for the 8 tentacles and suck it out it. Probably like it kills a lot of 90 crew when 100 souls. As mostly it's between 120 pirates. From now on, it's just offer is like it could be notices who he is, notices who my best pirate shows. It's like Pirates versus Kraken for the extension ones. Even Jack Sparrow just once and for all about after he died, he was killed by the Kraken and eaten, but he didn't die. He didn't die the dead man's chest. That way, the Flying Dutchman arrives at Port Royal for the old guy says it is finished. He just write up from the map to draw them when in the war on Earth. Even basically at World's End, their like extended edition is between 180 minutes. So that way at World's End, it's all over the world. That way it could be began. Barbosa's began to on some prayers. It could be coins after the little boy died. So after they're punished by EITC soldiers and blue coats, somehow for the East India Trading Company ordered by Lord Cutler Beckett to execute all the pirates, including one boy. Then Singapore is on the extension ones. That's for ones that could be about for the hiding sections, meeting South Fangs, raided by EITC soldiers, including Ian Mercer's, and escapes to Hull Payne from survivors from the EITC to destructions to the biggest land to the Singapore. That once in the Flying Dutchman invades around the pirate fleets. That way there could be extended ones where you're firing for the cannons, borrowing cannons with the guns, two triple guns, destroy the ships, and the one from the main decks, the one under deck, is ones for the on the cannon firing the superpowers. It flashes the cannons. It's literally let the Kraken just reciprocally eat the crew. And that way, it's also the stench that ones that are looking for. Davy Jones killed his pet after the Ancient Man's End of War. They have 55 guns. It's on the right side after Color Bet that just killed the Kraken. The ones in the back for the injured. His pet was killed, basically, somehow to be serious. So it just drowning, and he also dying into the black sand beach after the Cutlass Beck is killed the Kraken, including Davy Jones. So that way, also agreed. Some basically, the Empress just meet the Black Pearl, Jack meet the South Fang, and including Cutlass Beckett with the reinforcements to be enemies. That one to be the on and on. Elizabeth was traded to Empress to see wanted to go for the Brethren Court to following to End of Hours to see one of the skirmishes for off the Black Sand Beach. So maybe attack on the Empress and extended one just a little by bit. The Flying Dutchman ambushes the Empress and the Singapore pirates, including Chinese ones. That woman was escaped. That woman was hiding in under captain's cabin. That way, it's on the Parisa somehow. The EITC and the Dutchman pirates just surrounded Singapore pirates. Even then, James Norrington, she's an admiral, the former commodore. He chooses his side is let the Singapore pirates just escape from prison from the brig. Bootstrap Bill Turner just after the lock-in about 10 days ago. Some basically, even like 10 days ago, sometimes it is mostly about 10 days ago. Bootstrap Bill Turner just locked in that brig by Davy Jones after the attack for Hindenburg traders. And he escaped. He just turned on to kill Admiral James Norrington. Then after he replaces to Admiral Norrington after he died stabbed by Bootstrap Bill. If I notice, it's like an extended ones. It's between Shipwright Island. The pearl goes into the Devil's Throat. That goes into the Shipwreck Cove. It besides after the meeting with Davy Jones with the Lord Cutler Beckett and Will Turner. So that one, as much as that takes, that's the only way after put the man on the top of the rum and throws into the water from the ship. That the only things. It's probably like the meat of the gathering together is between EITC, the British, the ones are between Scottish ones. The word you're looking for. That's Scottish, in English, in British. There are eight of the reinforcement by East India Trading Company with the Brethren Court. So after Tiondalma goes into the brig by Pentella Rigetti, they call her Mrs. Fish and Calypso by Barbosa. I feel notice is like in adaptable be problems. There's like it could be takes more than about for tomorrow the 24 hours before the war goes in. So Age of Piracies, Battle with the Maelstrom, and that's the only way to release Calypso's like before the storm comes out from the Maelstroms. It comes into on the clouds, turns into the whirlpool like water spouts. The Dutchman's in the ship. The Dutchman in the Pearl just goes into the around the whirlpool. All the pirates of Manda just advancing against the EITCs, British and English and Scottish, the Welsh and Irish, all the ships. Even extended lunch just longer and longer, and that longer. That ships is also the same thing. It's between piracy against the English ones with the EITCs, England, Scotland, Welsh, and Ireland, and East India Trading Company. 5 are the same. Way well should have fallen off as far as it is concerned. The piece is between South Fangs and Mistress Chain, Villanova, Susumbaji, Gentleman Jacquard, and among the Corsairs. Every pirates, just also about casualties, is between rest of the crewmen in the ships, rest of the EITCs, like, I would have to say just the ones with about 250 ships with them to go. Even rest of them for about the ships all to go after the Davy Jones just got out from the staff of heart by Will Turner and Jack Sparrow and Elizabeth to free the bound Dutchmen, and there will be no longer and no more. Bootstrap Bill Turner and frees from the bound the Dutchman. Will Turners will have the captain before he is sunk down. Victory over by the Black Pearl. That way, the HMS Endeavour are still there. Even the EITC, the British, English, and Scottish, and Irish, and Welsh Armada still out there. Is between the Dutchman is overseas. The Flying Dutchman comes up the underwater. It aids for the Black Pearl, turns on to the HMS Endeavour and Beckett and Admiral officers and the EITC soldiers and crews. Then, after that, both the Black Pearl and the Flying Dutchman destroys the HMS Endeavour. 110 guns is destroyed and sunk. The victory over the EITC's Armada, British, in English, Scottish, Welsh, and Irish. At that, it could be Elizabeth will have the free to go retire from piracies is between 9 years after the Curse of the Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, and at World's End. Will Turner will have to go for about the 1 day only for Horizon. Elizabeth, she wants to be in the Child this year. With Jack Sparrow, we visit Gazelle and Scarlet for Tortuga, outside for the port. Even the Black Pearl just sailed away from Tortuga. Even Joshua Gibbs has slept into the wood on the port. Somehow, Jack goes along on a dinghy. Sometimes the Black Pearl, leaving Jack Sparrow behind from the ships. Even the hole under the navigation chart is from South Fangs from Singapore after his death. Then, for Jack Sparrows, he's in the dinghy, not a Black Pearl. He acquires them is between the Fountain with You, Aqua de Vida. That goes on Stranger Tides. It's between At World's End and the Black Pearl, the ones we're looking for on dangerous situations between 13 years, mostly half is 17 years, even we look for the 21 years. In that, there could be 22 years. Will Turner and Elizabeth Swan appears to be on 22 years until the Dead Man Tell None Tales with the 5th one. The first, what we need to do is, far as I like it, between 21 years is on Stranger Tides. Alright guys, thank you very much for the coming in, guys. Don't forget to hit and subscribe to my content. X, Facebook, Instagrams, Twitch live streaming today, and social medias at Peacocks. Free movies at Tubies, and Soma Plays, and Peacocks on the play right now, and Netflix on the $7.99. Don't forget to watch it on JWCT, CC, and Jurassic World Trilogy, JWR, JP3, JW, JWFK, JWD. And make sure you don't forget to the previously on Jurassic World Evolution, Jurassic World Evolution 2, upcoming to Jurassic World Evolution 3. Be sure to have to make the campaign first, and Chaos Theories, Challenge, and Sandbox. Don't forget, October 21st, 2025. PCs and consoles, don't forget, and subscribe to more contents for On and On, JW3. Feel free to watch, feel free to play on the games, and don't forget, and keep it with you, mateys. Good night.